I have created a folder called Name Combiner API. I think that's a fine name for this, but if you don't like it, you're welcome to call it something else. It doesn't matter what you call it. And I'm going to open up my terminal so that we can start this Express app. Okay. Do you remember from last time, how do we create an Express app? I think it's npm init. And this takes us through this cool little like wizard. You remember this? What should the package name be? Name combiner API, yes. Press enter to accept the default. 1.0.0, yes. Description, skipping it. Entry point, I don't like index. I think I would rather call it app.js. Are you okay with that? No test command. No get repo yet. Skipping keywords. I will put my name in as the author. Don't put my name in as the author. Put your name in. You're the author. License, I'm going to skip that. Type, I'm going to accept the default, which is CommonJS. Is this okay? Yes. And all that it's going to do is write this package.json for me. You seeing this? Yeah? So that's what it wrote for me. Sweet, we got that. I have this get ignore program script installed globally. I don't know if you installed it before, but I'm going to say get ignore space node to write a get ignore file for me based on the kinds of things that you should be ignoring. There's no way we're going to have all this stuff, but I don't want to forget something. The most essential thing that we not include is, of course, the largest thing in the known universe, the node modules folder, which we don't have yet, but we're about to. So I'm going to say npm I to install, npm I, and the thing that I definitely want is Express. Yeah, Express. So this is going to install Express and all of its dependencies, which is going to create node modules here. So we will have now, there's dependencies Express. Okay.
So there's a package.json for our app, and there's a package lock.json that npm creates for
yes.
The module.
Yes. What's the point of that file?
Good question.
I'm going to let ChatGPT explain this because it's a little bit gross. Pretty sure it has to do with specific versions. So package lock.json is an auto-generated file that npm creates. It freezes exact versions. So, okay. So when we write things like this, when we say, I want to express 5.1.0, there's these different symbols here, and I'm not going to remember them now, where these symbols that you put up front are saying, like, basically, if 5.2 comes out, do you want 5.2 or do you want to stick with 5.1? You with me? Package lock actually comes in and exactly says exactly which version you have. And if you're working on a team, it could be that when somebody runs your package.json, they get 5.2 when you had 5.0 because only the fives were the things that were specified, and then you get different behavior, and you're like, well, in the world, it's the same code. All of our code is the same. How could this be different? And it may have been a change in your package. When you have package lock.json, then you know it's exactly the same. This happened when I was on a team project like last semester, because we had issues where we weren't tracking package lock.json, and it was very confusing because all of a sudden the code works fine on my computer, and you presumably have the same code. It's the same repo, same branch, and it doesn't work on your computer. It's maddening. You with me? Yeah, you need to do sudo first so that you get in super user permission, sudo space at the beginning of that. Yeah, if you install anything globally, you've got to have sudo first. Yeah, good call. Okay, so there's a quick answer to that, name. A good question. Okay, I need to create this file that I said I was going to have. Wasn't it app.js? And I would also like to come in here and create a start script. So I'm in the package.json and I'm going to say start so that I can say npm run start. And I need a comma here. And the essence here is we just want to say nodemon app.js to monitor app.js. Yeah, good. I installed Nomon globally in the past because it's so useful. So if you haven't installed, you should npm install -g nodemon. If you're on Mac, you're going to have to sudo. I think I got it right. Oh, I read it. Okay.
What does it mean when it says like they're looking for fun?
So many of these packages, I guess all these packages are open source. And so they've enabled some flag to say, hey, we're making amazing open source software. Would you consider sending us some money, supporting this software that clearly you're using because, right, we just downloaded it.
Whenever you did it, it removed 4 packages.
I think I haven't installed this for a long time, so I was running an old version. Yes. And in your project potentially as well, where you might want to remove packages that have security updates, update packages that have security updates. But you don't want to update them if they, a lot of times, if the first number changes, if you go from a 4.x.x to a 5.x.x, they'll have breaking changes where if you call the same method, it doesn't exist anymore. But usually you're safe within one major number. I think it's called major, minor, and patch number are the 3 numbers. So the third number just means we'd had bug fixes. Did I already say this? I remember saying this recently. No? It wasn't this class? So the minor number means like we improved it, but it's still compatible API-wise. Do you know what I mean? Like we didn't change the names of any methods. Maybe we added more, but we didn't change anything. So your code shouldn't break on a patch or a minor number improvement, but it could break on a major. So that's why you would normally opt into that. Then you're gonna have to read what changed. Do I have to update my code? All right, let's start off this Express app like all Express apps. Oh, question?
I was gonna say I have a bunch of these like environments for different projects here, and I installed a bunch of things on them. Does it matter? Should I delete some of the ones I don't use?
If you don't want the space taken up, you're welcome to delete it. I don't know how big No Modules actually is in megabytes. It's not terrible, probably. It just is a lot of files. They're all source code files, though. How is it you import Express? I think you say const Express is equal to require Express. Isn't that right? And then you say const app is equal to Express parentheses. And I'm going to say const port is equal to like 3000. And then I like to just go ahead and start this thing up and say app dot listen to start the app listening. And I believe I pass in port number and then a function that runs after the app is running. So this is not an endpoint. It just means this is running. On the whole, this is the last time I'm typing this. I'm copy pasting this from here on out. I'm going to console.log server started on HTTP colon. I'm not doing S, I guess. Localhost colon and then port number, which means I need these to be backticks. Oops. Yeah. And I know for sure that I want one route. Well, let's make sure this runs, right? We should probably make sure it runs. So I'm going to say npm run start. Hopefully this runs. It's running on localhost 3000. I can command. Oh, hang on. I don't want these dots because that's actually changing the path here. And cannot get / is good. That means my Express server is running. It's not that there's nothing here. It like I don't know.
What did you run again?
npm run start, which is just a shortcut to run NodeMon, your app, but that's like the traditional way of starting your app. If I were to go to localhost 3001, there is no server running on that port, and so you get this site can't be reached.
This is correct.
Oh, it doesn't go under dependencies, it goes under scripts. Yep. Okay, so I want to say app.get. This is the way we set get routes. You remember the verbs? We've got different verbs in HTTP. Do you remember the 4? There's actually more than 4, but get is the most common one. Give me this resource is the idea. There's also post. Post is what we use to send data to the server. What's another one? Put. Put we usually use for updating existing data. And delete. And delete does delete. Okay, so for this get, I need to pass in some path. And I'm going to do API/combine. Second parameter is a function that I'm about to define here. It's just like the body of this guy. Yeah. But this is a special node function, so it takes in those 2 parameters, request and response, which are conventionally called rec and res. Yeah. So let's kind of plan out a plan here. We would like to extract the query string params. Yeah, we want to get name 1 and name 2 off of the off of the query string so that we can do something with them. So we'll get them. After we get them, we want to compute combinations. So for this part, this is just some string manipulation, some slicing, some dicing, some concatenation. I'm probably not going to be able to, I'm not going to do this in class, and I can't do it off the top of my head. You have to reference something to make sure we can slice. But JavaScript has a substring method that's on all strings. After we do that, I would say we need to create array of like the results or the results, which if I'm me, which I am me, fortunately, I'm going to copy this for reference because I've already forgotten it, even though I made it up. So I'm going to put down here what this results object is supposed to look like. Okay, just for myself, it's like a cheat sheet. And then at the end, I need to return or like send back the response with the data and stuff. The response.
Like a JSON.
As JSON. Yes, exactly. So maybe even up here, I could say, I'm going to have this like var results. Result. Would you say it's more 1 or more? I guess it's more than, it's one object that has a name 1, a name 2, a results. Huh? Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and start it off to be just a blank I don't like that. I don't like the idea of having a results object that has a results thing inside of it. The shape of this, I'm saying, needs to look like this. It will have a name 1, and I don't know what that is yet. How come? It's going to have a name 2, and it's going to have a results, which is an array of things. Yeah? I kind of don't want to call it response either, because the response is the whole object that we were getting, the res. So I don't know. If that hurts. I'm going to call it result. You can call it whatever you want to. At the end of this, down here, this is what I want to do. Like, I know I want to do this. I want to say res, which is my response object, .json, and I want to pass in the result object. So this is going to convert that JSON object to an array, to JSON format, and send it over the internet back to the requester. So I think with this, I can actually go ahead and test this. It'll be that empty thing, but this should be API/combiner. What name? Combine. And just like that, boom, that is the right shape. You see? Like, I'm not doing anything smart at all here. I'm just always returning this empty object when I hit this endpoint. Yeah? I think you're going to want to get this thing called Postman. It is an app that allows you to do API. It's get, post, put, delete requests. So if you would, go to API client or even download Postman. There's a free one. Get the free one. Do you see free? Yeah, here. You know how to download the right one for your platform. Mac with Intel chip, Ella, on your ancient laptop. Mac with Apple chip for everybody else with a modern Mac. There may be a day when I don't enjoy making fun of people's computers, but it is not this day. So what you're going to get is a program that looks like this. It's not hardly even necessary for what we're doing for this API that only has one GET request. You can always send GET requests really easily through a browser, right? That's what a browser does when you type in the URL into a browser, is it sends a GET request. But it is not as easy to send a put, post, or delete. Apps like this make it really easy to do this interactively. So go ahead and get that if you don't have it. Okay. You feeling this? We have the beginnings of this object. Postman is going to make it so that when we have to send GET requests, put requests, delete requests, update, post, we can easily do that. So here, actually, I'm going to go to collections. I'm going to create a new collection that is HTTP. I'm going to call this name combiner API. This is my collection. And now I can send to localhost 3000 /API/ what was it? Combine. And I can send to that endpoint. Does this make sense, Caleb? You see this? So this is a really nice UI so that I can send this. I can choose, like, what kind of data am I getting out? Am I getting HTML back? Am I getting, you can just see the raw. In raw, that's what the web server is really sending back, is just a string. But if I happen to know that, hey, that's JSON, then it'll pretty print it this way. What's nice is now I can send a post request to this same thing. This is going to fail. You see I get back a cannot post because there is no post to that. Maybe I need a new blank collection. No, I want to like put all these together and say this thing, I'm going to rename, is the API, the name combiner API. This is not an especially interesting thing because I only have one endpoint. Does that make sense? I think this app makes it really nice to these things happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's new here is, oh, I skipped it. Before I send back the data, I would like to write the results to a file. Yeah? So how do you write data to a file in Express? You ready? You don't really write with Express. You write with Node. Thank you for that correction. Okay, so you definitely need this thing called FS, which is the file system. So we're going to have to import the file system package in order to write to the server. Looks like we also probably want this path. So those two things. So we're going to say that we're going to create a file path. You see this? Which is basically, this is creating a file. We want ours to be in /logs/output.log, I think is what I said. In this case, we're going to take the data and stringify it. So that means take this JSON object, convert it to a string, and then fs.write file, pass in the file path, the data you want to write, and then it looks like this this write file takes in a function in case it errors, and we'll show you the error. Does this make sense? So it's really easy. It's just fs. I suspect
Now instead of /save, we want to.
I want to hang on. This is actually what we want to do. Is we want to log. So if we're doing logging here, we can say fs.append file, the path to the file, whatever data we want to log into it, and then our error function is the the third parameter. Does that make sense?
So what are we trying to do again? Bigger picture.
Big picture. You get a request that looks like this with question mark name 1 equals Nima. Name 2 is equal to Keenan. You see here, Postman is smart enough to extract query string parameters.
Okay, and you want to extract.
I want to extract it and make it a name 1 and name 2. I want to make an array of results that are combinations of those two names in any way you want to do it. It could just be Nima Keenan, Keenan Nima, or something smarter.
Okay. And why are we using FS?
And then we're basically logging on the server, we're keeping track of the work that we did. I wanted you to use the file system. But logging is a really common thing because then you'd like to know, like, if somebody were using your service inappropriately and making a bunch of bad words, then you would have a record of it when it happened and what they were. Yeah. Or also, it's helpful if people are like, your thing's messed up, man. It's not ever working. Well, you could be able to track it down and see exactly what was happening, that it happened. Does that make sense? It's a little arbitrary because I am wanting you to learn something, but it's not that arbitrary. In this case, FS, it's always called FS, is require FS. That's built into Node. You don't have to install anything. It's not imported by default, but like it makes sense, right? Like dealing with the file system, being able to read and write files is a pretty important thing. I'm going to go ahead and make a folder for this. So I need the logs folder. And let's see if this one line works. It was like fs dot, it's like an append file. Hang on, where are you at, ChatGPT? The name of the file. Hang on, I want to see this file or path descriptor, comma, data, options, callback. Okay, I might not have to put that error thing in there. I would like to append to the file, what is it, /logs/ I think I said output.log. And I would like to say, it worked. And I really probably should have, oh yeah, good call. So I was thinking I really should have some kind of error function here. It works, exclamation point, and then \n should take to a new line. And then I'd like to say console.log error if there was an error. There's a chance this could work, right? There's a chance, seems like a very high chance it's not going to work. Oops, not that one. This one. I want to try Postman. I'm missing this. And sad. Okay, it didn't work. It may be that it has to exist first. It is saying no such file or directory /logs. Oh, no, it's this. I believe, back to ChatGPT. They just said log.txt. Let's try it.
How did we put it in post?
Wait, this? Let's see it happens. Maybe, I'm surprised that didn't. This would be output.log is what I said. So I'm going to try hitting this again from this endpoint. Okay, that's saying, does it exist? Sometimes, yeah, in this one, the file path. Wait, where is the directory name? Oh, okay. Let me try this. Sometimes you have to give the full path to the file, and you don't necessarily know what directory your code is going to be in on the server because you're not in control of the server. But this __ dir name is the directory name where you are. So I'm going to let's try this.
Oh, so this is Git.
Yeah, we're putting this in Git, not post. So I'm going to say const file path is equal to, and the right way to do this is to say path.combine, join. Hang on, did I pull in path up here? I didn't. Const path is equal to require, is it just path? Yeah. Okay. Basically, this path thing is dumb. It's just saying on Windows, you have a /. No, on Windows, you have a / between folder names. On Mac and Linux, you have a /. So you got to have the right character for whatever system you're on. But I want to join together the __ dir name, which is the directory that this folder, that this project is running in, and I would like to combine that together with slash logs slash output dot log. So
the full.
So this should get the full thing. And let me just print it out to show us what it looks like. So I'm going to print out console.log the file path, and then I want to pass the file path in as the append file. This is the first parameter of the append file. Hopefully this is our problem. It did not freak out. It works, you guys. It works. Okay, that's exciting. So, did you see the fixes we made here? Oh, that's what this is. You see this big long path right here? Users, Keenan, Casey, Dropbox, Fried Hardeman, all this long path. That's the full path on my computer to this file. It's going to be different on your computer, and you don't want to hard code that path name in your code. Because once you move the code somewhere else, like you deploy it to the cloud, it's going to be a different path on the server. But underscore dir name is going to be the same. So you want to do that. You don't actually need to print it out. I went to Postman or to my browser, and then send a GET request. The browser would just be pressing Enter, Postman, send. I think I hit it again, so now it should say it works twice. Yeah. So I don't really want it to say it works. I would like it to have data that's relevant to what I just did, whatever the combination is, which I think you can say. You could say something like JSON.stringify parentheses, and the cool part here is you pass in any JSON object, which is just a JavaScript object, it converts it to the appropriate string representation because this append file needs it to be a string. So I think, now it's still empty, but it won't be once y'all finish it. Let me send this again to hit that API endpoint, and then back to here. And now, yeah, I do have that. And this is appending, so I can save that. To be truly logging, you usually would put the date time here, but not the word date time, but something like date time colon and then your value, so you can see exactly when this happened. So I would challenge you to go ahead and put in a timestamp for that. I would just take whatever this. Can't you just like create a new date? And can I like have a? If I can do that, is it? Just want to execute those two things and make them. Probably put something between them. Colon, bar. I don't know what's standard. I'm sure there's a standard logging format. I don't want that one. That was my first one. You seeing this? So that's what it printed out. That's pretty excessive, but that's kind of cool. At least you got it all there. Yeah? Just by creating a new date. Okay. So your challenges are to connect these last few dots, which is to actually make the combinations, to create the array, like the results object. It's not fully populated. To extract out the query parameters, create the array. I think that's it. It's easy, right? So you get to do this, compute the combinations. You get to do this, extracting the query string parameters. And then for these, I think it's push. If you say, what's it called? Result.results.push. Push is how you append to an array in JavaScript. But notice, I want you to put in objects that have an ID that's an integer. It's a, what's it look like? It looks like down here. A name and a goodness. So this would be name and goodness. Oh, which you can randomly generate the goodness. So this is how you could push something to that. That should show up here in Postman, right? Because I just changed it. There you go. Yeah. So you see now it's got a result. So that's how you could manipulate arrays in JavaScript. Do you know what? If pushes on appends to an array, you know what removes the last thing from an array? That would make a lot of sense. But I am 80% sure that JavaScript went with unpush. Thank you for laughing. Maybe I'm wrong. Now I feel bad. I may have lied to you. Hang on. My bad. It's push and pop, but there's also shift and unshift, where shifting is adding on to a particular side of the array, and unshift is the other way. So pop removes the last element, shift adds to the first, and unshift removes the first. I apologize. It was unshift that I was remembering. It still seems like a weird word to me. I hope you guys have an outstanding weekend. I've decided to go ahead and cancel class for the rest of the month. So I will see you guys next month. The next time we have class, just use the weekend well. I did make this due Monday night.